Hello, my sweet dear magical friends. Willkommen to our next astrology horoscope, taking us from August the 8th until August the 16th when we have the new moon in Leo. We're basically going from the waning, losing in light quarter moon up to the new moon in Leo, taking place on August the 16th. So I'm calling this video preparing for the kaboom because it's just going to be a really, really big deal. And there's just I'm so sorry about the lag. I thought being in the morning it wouldn't have this lag, so hopefully it catches up. Otherwise, feel free to enjoy this as a podcast. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. Let me get this up. Hold on. Let's see. Um, all right, I am gonna do a brief overview of Tuesday, just so that, oh no. All right, I will be right back. Let's see if this is gonna work first before I be right back. Man, you guys, it has actually been a crazy tech week for me. So I don't know how you guys have been doing with like tech stuff, but this has definitely been, oh no, we're back. Okay. So yeah, it's been like a weird tech week. Okay, so we are going to continue on. We will persevere. Okay, so let's pull up on Tuesday. Okay, so I am live streaming this on Wednesday, August the 9th. Yesterday, Tuesday, August the 8th, we had the quarter moon in the sign of Taurus, and this is the waning, losing, and light quarter moon where we practice acceptance. We're releasing, letting go of, you know, some of the concepts that may have needed to be jostled loose from the full moon last week that took place on August the 1st in Aquarius. So, that had, and that's what this you see over here is, that had a little bit of an internal adjustment. Now, it was coinciding with a lot happening because we're still in the energy of Venus retrograde squaring Uranus. Not only that, but we have Black Moon Lilith on the scene. And so it wasn't just like a regular waning quarter moon in Taurus. It's a little bit like there's more to it. So the moon conjoined Uranus and then squared Venus retrograde in Leo. So, the changes that are happening, it's like with astrology, not only do I look for a lot of different things to say the same thing, but I also look for like pushes. Like this, I would describe this as like a push from the universe, kind of like oh, we are back, excelente. So you know how the Joker's like, all you just need is a little push. I feel like this quarter moon was a little bit more of a push. So emotionally pay attention to what was going on. What was that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, today? And you're covering old ground very briefly with that square to Venus retrograding in the sign of Leo. So the pivots that we're making, the opportunity was to elevate emotionally, and if we can ground that in some way, shape, or form physically. So, little things that you might have felt like you wanted to do, maybe for good luck, or to sort of even like writing things down and burning them, or throwing it away, little rituals like that had extra oomph to them, extra energy. And so, the acceptance that you might have been practicing over those couple of days when the moon was in Taurus leading up to the quarter moon probably centered around that blend of spirituality and practicality. So are your values really charging up your structures in life, your actions, the things that you're building? Taurus wants things to last. Taurus energy, it's like we're never ever getting divorced. We are never selling the house. We are never gonna, like, it's like it's so tight, it's so compacted. So that's why having Uranus in Taurus since 2018 has been so incredibly destabilizing. And so this activation of the quarter moon, it's like, that's the thing with innovation, is that the old systems, they either adjust or they die. It's like do or die. You either elevate or you become immediately irrelevant. So that's the Taurus area of our life that had to be, that was like the challenge. Like, can you accept it? Can you just, get over the thing, get over, whatever that full moon was. And so that's what that was. And so let's go ahead and move forward because that's the past. It doesn't exist anymore. Okay, welcome to Wednesday. Wednesday, we have on the 9th of August, we have Venus retrograding in Leo, squaring that Uranus in Taurus. This is also the day today that Mercury in Virgo trines Jupiter in Taurus. So for any kerfuffles that might have been happening, we have this beautiful trine. Guys, oh my God. Remember when I was telling you guys, I'm like, oh, it's financial and it wasn't that big of a deal. No, it became a big deal. I had to go get, I finally, guys, I looked it up. The phone that I'm doing this thing on, that was from, it's the 11 is from 2019, guys. So I had a really messed up quarter moon in Taurus. So yesterday night, I recorded a fucking amazing telekinesis demo because I'm moved on to plastic now. That fucking phone, I'm so sorry if I'm still like coming down from like the rage. That phone, because so in June I did a 30-day TikTok challenge where I would post every single day and then I just kind of kept with it. And so I'm like, maybe I'll try posting like twice a day. So I'm like recording more. And so I went to record my TK practice session and it didn't capture it. Plastic, I need a longer charge up time and I record everything start to finish. And so it was such an amazing movement. It would have won me the $1 million Randall challenge. Like that's how great it was. And when I went and I didn't have, guys, I can't tell you how I felt that it stopped recording. I didn't capture the moment and I didn't capture it. It was so fucking cool. And that's what pushed me though. That's what pushed me to get a new phone of all things. And you guys know how cheap I am. I'm a Capricorn. I have a Capricorn stellium. I don't care about new iPhone for grandma. I'll get a new iPhone for my grandma, but not for me. It took this. And it was not only that. I'm a photographer. I went to school. I went to college for photography. Before that I worked for years in a camera shop, like as a camera shop girl, like not a Best Buy. No, like a camera store in Oak Park, cleaning checks, filming. Like I'm just so to miss a moment, to not record a moment, guys, that's a amateur mistake. Amateur mistake. Like I knew that's my 8 of Swords in my head. It's like amateur mistake. Ooh, so that yesterday, that was like 4 hours of just like, that's it. And it's a terabyte. Like this better last me another 4 or 5 years. A terabyte. I've got the iCloud, so I will never miss another moment ever again. Anyway, so I didn't get out of the full moon in the financial house. That was an impulse. Also this Venus square Uranus. Let's see if I don't know how it could possibly bite me in the ass, but let's take a look. Let's see how this unfolds. But better to do that before Mercury goes retrograde, by the way. So today, here we are, the Venus square Uranus. It's a second hit. We had this at the beginning of July. This one should be a better integration. That's another thing. I got this new little nifty mic. So, that's part of the fifth house for me, is that it's for us and for this and for doing all of these things that we do. So how was it for you guys? I'm sorry, that's such a, you guys are probably dealing with like much more dramatic, interesting things, but that's what it happened to be for me. Better integration, we're like, I it broke me down. I was so salty. Whew. August is always an expensive month for me just because of my astrology, but it's also a high earning month for me. So it's a wash, but it's just me being super frugal. This got me to loosen it up for sure. It's a better integration. So think about the beginning of July. What were you kind of opening up to? Or actually the beginning of July, it could have been something distasteful. You don't like it. Like, oh, this is ugly. I don't like it. Oh, it's distasteful. It's like whatever, not classy. You weren't into it, but now you are. Now it makes more sense. Now you see how it fits into the bigger picture. You're still going to be integrating it, but you have a better perspective about it. You have a better sense of acceptance about it. another thing that I've been gambling. Okay, that's another thing. Not a lot. Not a lot. Okay, not a lot. Not, it's like like $5 like a week or something. Like it's not a big deal. But I'm really getting into poker. Like I'm gonna get into Texas Hold'em and I am so excited. I'm gonna start, I already have my setup. I'm gonna move right into it. So I'm ready. I have people I'm gonna be playing with. So I'm excited for that. I'm like, but that's Leo energy. So think fun, lighthearted, happy games. I'm also gonna go to the thrift stores. I'm gonna look for like a dart board because I love darts. Love darts. So I'm gonna be getting into that. But try to incorporate some fun games this week. This is a great time to, even like if you loved to do something, growing up, if you loved to, I don't know, like whatever games you like to play, or bring some games back that you used to play with your children, or you know what I'm saying, just bring back that like fun, that whimsy. That Leo is like the child, one of the childlike signs of the zodiac, and just needs to express the fun and just have fun. So think that way. This is so, for instance, it was not fun yesterday when I just like lost a moment that I'll never get back. I'm not even going to explain it to you because it doesn't matter if it doesn't get filmed. You know what I'm saying? So, there's that, but that's what I have to say about the Venus Uranus. You're going to be able to integrate this better. So just be open to more fun, be open, let your heart open up to what it wants, and don't judge it so much. Uranus is trying to elevate it, and it might happen quick and fast, and it might be, it's a square. So it's like you have to overcome the obstacle. I was resistant. Guys, 4 years, having an iPhone for 4 years, it probably sounds crazy. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm using it right now, but I mean, no more storage issues. That's my boundary, my technological hygiene boundary. So, I can't let that happen again. That was my bad. I felt like a bad steward. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so, it's like that was the obstacle, that was the challenge, but that's what it took to get me to do something about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't change, I'll still be, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, this week, that's just going to be a thing. But you have the Mercury trine Jupiter, which we have going on today. Loving the Virgo energy, loving the Mercury, Mars, and Virgo. It's so much fun. You people, love you people. So keep doing what you're doing. Think smart. That's the Virgo benefit that we have in our lives. That Mercury and Virgo, think smart, trines over to Jupiter and Taurus. That could be an expansion of wisdom and philosophizing, where that Mercury and Virgo, attention to detail, has the pieces, because Jupiter's a little bit more like big picture, but the Mercury in Virgo is more about like the detail and getting everything done, like, to the T, and not, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. So I feel like to have this integrated so well is great, especially because they're in earth signs. And that's like the one saving grace we have for the new moon, is that we have this grand earth trine. So, use this energy to be able to do all of it, to take care of your details and to also see the bigger picture. Okay. And also, if there's anything that went wrong, so for me, it's like phone storage, but maybe for you, you are deepening your connection with your lover, or you are, going to couples counseling, or you are, if it's like a relationship thing, or you are reconciling with a friend, a friendship has there's an estrangement with someone in your family. If it's something a little bit more like that, then you want to use this energy to talk it through and to be able to smooth things over, or to really sort of see where the other person's coming from, and to sort of share in that sense in a practical way. So as long as you're honest and you are forthright about what you're feeling and what you're thinking, there should be some reciprocity, there should be some understanding. Okay. Also today on Wednesday, we have the moon in Gemini squaring Saturn, retrograding in Pisces. Accept the criticism, accept the delays, accept the, like, whatever that is, because, it's like we're grateful for that. All right. Be grateful for Saturn, because that's the force that makes sure that we don't fall into the river, drown, and die. Okay. That's that boundary is there to protect us. So when kids are pushing it, they want to know where they're safe. They want that. They want to know where that boundary is, because that's when they'll feel safe. But if they don't get that, that's why they go to school. They get into trouble at school. They don't get the boundary or the authority. They go out in life. They get in trouble with the cops. You know, that's the next boundary. That's the next authority. You know what I'm saying? So it just, then they're just, we're wild. We're little wild people running around without any kind of sense of safety or security. So just accept it, whatever it is. And, you know, the criticism, I don't even think it'll be that bad. I think it'll be more like, oh, hey, you missed this, you know, okay, go back and take care of it. Don't take it personally. Take the notes. Take the notes, okay? I wouldn't argue back at that with whatever comes up, you know, today on Wednesday. Okay, let's take a look at Taurus Day. On Thursday, we've got the moon in Gemini squaring Mercury and Mars in Virgo. So tomorrow is going to be crunchy. Tomorrow's going to be crunchy because people are going to be irritated, frustrated. Things are not going to go well. The details are going to get caught up. Someone's going to drop, you know, your phone's going to drop a signal. Or even things that are, part of this is going to be just things that are outside of your control. The moon is circumstances. Now listen, all of this is building towards the kaboom. This is all like, the days that we're covering is like the last purge, like I'm calling it, the last purge of negativity, because we have Venus with Black Moon Lilith, and that's all about regaining your power back and being able to not be afraid of anything. Not being afraid of everything going wrong, or being dumped, or being left at the altar, or being disappointed, or losing all your money, or losing all your fortune, or not getting your way, or not controlling everything. Like whatever the fear is, you let that go. This is the purge. There's no such thing as lack. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just an entire shift that's happening up until we get to about Sunday. That's when we get reborn with the Venus cazimi. But until then, whatever the fears are, and because it's Leo, it could be fears of lack of appreciation, resources, attention, value. You know, oh my God, I don't feel like I can assert my value because I don't think they're going to say yes to it. I don't think they're going to pay me what I ask for if I put, like, I want this much, or I don't think if I put my boundary down in a relationship, I don't think my partner's going to respect it. They're just going to leave me, or, you know what I'm saying? It's like, or manipulation, like, oh, I'm going to manipulate this before they do, or, you know what I'm saying? It's like, throw all of that out the window. This is the week to purge all of that. Let haters hate over there. Remember what I like to say from Pantera: be yourself, by yourself, stay away from me. You just focus on your heart, you focus on your work, you focus on what matters to you, you focus on putting all that energy into yourself. So if you have fear, worries, doubts, Thursday people are going to be bickering. Oh my God, like that's the one thing about like this energy on Thursday. It's like people are going to be bickering, people are going to be big mad, people are going to be really triggered, and the circumstances could even just be, you know, bringing things up to the surface. You know, maybe you were charged incorrectly on a billing statement. You got to call and you got to provide evidentiary support for what you're saying, you know, and you've got to dig through files, and it's like you don't even have time for that because you're trying to do something else, you know. So it might just be like a little bit of a frustrating day on Thursdays. So I would say that kind of stuff we have to deal with. But if it's something that's a little bit more of your control, where you can, you know, talk to, you know, if this is going on in a relationship, own your side of the street. And if this is something that's been coming up, because Mercury's going to go retrograde in Virgo, it's going to be a great one, I think. But, you know, this is like if there's like a Lilith fear, like of, how do I put this? It's almost like, okay, for instance, let's say I had an assistant that did like everything for me. They just made my life and my work so freaking easy, and I just grew to really rely on this assistant, and they just like solved all my problems. I could develop a fear of like going without my assistant. Like, oh my God, like how can I live without my Becky or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, I could have a fear of learning how to plug in a microphone. I could have a fear of learning how to set up an online web store. I could have a fear of how to set up a new iPhone. I could have a fear of you know, all the things that I was depending, relying on, paying whatever Becky to do. You know, there could be fears of like, oh my God, can I even do it without it? Yes, of course you fucking can. You know what I'm saying? There's a maybe a little learning curve, or maybe you pay someone else to just teach you how to do all these things and make it really easy. Or maybe you pay Becky. Maybe Becky's gonna move to Ireland and start a whole new life for herself. Like, hey Becky, I teach me how to do all these things. Let's scale everything down. Let's make it super simple. I don't need this big interactive website. Just give me a pay button. Show me how to transfer the money, and let's just, you know, sayonara, hasta la vista. So, you know, it's like that kind of a thing. So on Thursday, whatever you may be bickering about or really frustrated about, really big mad about, let it go. Let it go. You're probably getting lost in the details. Or there's misinformation or disinformation. Sorry, Gems, I have to say it. Because this is Gemini. Oh, I think it's Gemini Day. I think it's Gemini Day over on Patreon. Guys, I'm going to be on the Zoom tomorrow to troubleshoot questions for our remote viewing sessions. So if anyone, we have the schedule up on Patreon. We're doing 2 remote viewing sessions on Zoom, group sessions, and in addition to that, I will be on Zoom just like as an open door for 30 minutes to answer any questions if you guys have or feedback about the 𝚑𝚎𝚗 remote viewing guided meditation before we even start. Because once we do a remote viewing session, it's like we're starting right away. Okay. So yeah, I'm doing a little soft, you know, if anyone has any questions or anything, I'll be on Zoom tomorrow. Okay. Just available for you. So that is Thursday. Let's move on to Frig's Day, Friday. Okay, so on Friday, we have that same moon in Gemini squaring over to Neptune in Pisces before it ingresses into Cancer. What I got with this is allow me to disabuse you of that illusion. You know, there's like a perspective change, like a little, there's no boogeyman, you know. It's not as bad as you thought it was, or it's not as good as you thought it was, or, you know, there's a little bit, or I thought I had more time in the morning. I thought I was snoozing for 5 minutes and I was snoozing for 10 minutes and I just totally missed the deadline or whatever. That's Moon square Neptune. You sleep in through the final, you completely miss the train, you know, like mismanaging time. You thought you had more time, you show up with your hair all weird. So that's the moon square Neptune. So on there, it could be a little bit smaller where it's like a little scheduling thing, or it could be a lot bigger where it's like maybe you feel like someone lied to you and they're like, hey, I never said that. Or, you know, there's something going on there. And or maybe someone left something very open-ended and they're allowing you to project your meaning into it, and they know that you're going to do that, so they do that on purpose so that they can come back later and say, I never said that. Why would you think that? This is I'm telling you guys, it could be a difficult, weird little week for relationships, friendships, money, especially if you are combining these things. If you're combining friendships with money, if you're combining whatever, okay? So just be careful. This is like there was already a little mini kaboom with the full moon at the beginning of the month. It's a blue moon month too. So it's an emotional, there's stuff happening. There's big shifts happening. And so we're leading into the kaboom. So how do we possibly prepare for this big explosion that is going to be the middle of August? Well, we can purge and let go of negativity, purge and let go of fear, purge and let go of illusions that we are disempowered, or that we have these codependent needs on things, or that we care so much about what people think, whatever it happens to be, or that we're afraid of holding ourselves back, whatever happens to be. That's what we can do to prepare for the kaboom. Because once that rolls through, look around. This is all changing. Bye life as we know it. Okay, so okay, then when the moon enters into Cancer on Friday, it gets all into the feels. moon in Cancer people. It's very, very feely, very emotional. The circumstances will become very, very emotionalized. But I feel like we'll also want to start something new or to take the lead in some way, shape, or form, and it'll be very emotionally convicted. It's going to be kind of a crazy moon in Cancer before the new moon in Leo. So it's going to be darkest. It's always darkest just before the dawn, and I'm going to get to that in a second. Okay. Saturn day, we have the sun in Leo trining over to Chiron in Aries. We have the moon in Cancer sextiling over to both Saturn, retrograding in Pisces, and Jupiter in Taurus. So the sun trining Chiron is very nice. It can be a little bit vulnerable. We can feel a little bit exposed. This could be when you release your artwork and you're feeling a little exposed and vulnerable and you're not sure about the reception, that kind of, but it's healing insecurity wounds. That's what it is. So wherever you feel like you can't do it on your own, where you can't do it by yourself, where you can't shine bright, where you can't express yourself fully because you're afraid of what other people will think or judge or project upon you, this is building towards like a healing of that. And like I said, it's about purging out that negativity and these fears these few days before the new moon and replacing it with like a spiritual confidence. This spiritual confidence is going to be the only thing that gets us through. Okay. So you get you get that on Saturday. And the moon making these sextiles, this is emotional maturity and universal wisdom. So if you can take that highest vision for your life and just take the widest, biggest, zoomed out perspective and real, and just remember that this is the Earth school. This is as like solid as it gets. Okay, most of reality is like immaterial. Most of reality is like invisible and it's just like pure energy. Most of reality is pure energy. Earth, where we are here right now, this is as dense as it gets. This is so dense. And it's so convincing, and it has to be. That's why we have the 95% of our subconscious mind and the 5% of our conscious mind. We all have to have the self-limiting belief that this hardened reality is all hardened because we're all creating it. And it's like you log onto the game and you pick your avatar and you're living and you're working in that little game, and you have to you know what I'm saying? We have to believe that it's solid to make it solid. So it has to be persistent, but don't take it so, we're not supposed to take it so seriously. We're here to co-create, okay? So if you can do that, if you can do all that and keep your wits about you, then you'll take some of this stuff a little bit, less seriously. And guys, we are all here consciously working with astrology, and that's like consciously working with astrology and having your own spiritual practice, whatever that is. Like for me, dealing with like rage and like impulse and compulsive energy, like that, telekinesis and psychokinesis is so good for me because it helps me channel and ground. So whatever works for you, whatever happens to be to get you closer to that emotional maturity and wisdom. So Saturday looks super healing, super mature, and also confident, because not only do we have like the sun trining over to Chiron, but I really do feel like that dark moon, that moon in Cancer, it's got some confidence with it too. It's a leadership sign, it's a cardinal sign. Okay, moving on to Sun's day. We've got, okay, so Sunday we have the Sun Venus cazimi. This is the interior conjunction, and all I'm going to say about this is I want you guys to think about this as like a new moon energy. So the new moon is dark. It's the synodic cycle where the sun gets reborn again with where the moon gets reborn again with the sun, and they get the new impulse, and that happens every 30 days. Every 30 days. And then we have the opposition when the moon is opposing the sun, and that's our full moon every single month. The same thing happens with all the other planets because everything revolves around the sun because it's a Leo. So same thing happens with Venus. So now Venus back up conjuncts that sun, and this is like the new moon for Venus. So Venus is meeting up with the king, having a little discussion, having a little chat, and then they're going to move on. And then when Venus is on the other side, it'll be the, so that's all you need to I'm just going to keep it super simple. But this is the reset. This is the reset in values. This is the opportunity to clean and clear the slate. But be very careful with this weekend with the Lilith stuff. Be very careful, because what else is happening on Sunday? That moon in Cancer is actually going to be trining Neptune, can be inspiring or delusional, sextiling the Virgo stuff, Mercury and Mars in Virgo. So that's strong. Okay, that's like, there's a lot of strength here. Virgo's they're all strong signs, but like Mercury and Mars in Virgo together, and they're like they're really tight together, right? That's very, very strong. So it's like, the thing about it is that on Sunday, the moon is actually going to knock up, oppose Pluto, continue and just like reactivate the epic cardinal grand cross with the nodes of fate, South Node in Libra, North Node in Aries, and then the moon in Cancer, and then Pluto in Capricorn. So it's been mid-July to mid-August. I feel like people could either create their downfall or have their breakthrough. And it's so very important, because that April eclipse was activated last month as well. And like it's just a really, really crunchy, it's really crunchy. So this moon is going to like, and it's a dark moon. Like when the moon is before the sign that it's going to be in, when it's going to be renewed, like it could really be, people could be so confused. And I've been seeing it. Remember the yads that we talked about late July going into August, how people could use that Pluto Neptune to like, they're abusing themselves with an illusion, you know? And it's like, so people will be either going on the wrong, but believing they are, or they're going to be very spiritual and leaning into the lessons and leaning into their inner self-confidence, trusting themselves, trusting their own spiritual connection to their higher selves. So that's why I'm saying, like, I feel like people are either going to, people are either going to really break things down, like, and for the negative, or people are going to have really strong breakthroughs where they release themselves of fear. Okay. And guys, we all know when we're doing something bad. We all know when we're doing something wrong, whether that's thinking wrong, speaking manipulatively, feeling ugly feelings, taking wrong actions, manipulative actions. We all know better. We all know when we're doing that. So if anyone is like creating their downfall this weekend and like trying to get away with it, like they know better. They're just trying to get away with it. So they're going to have consequences later on, and they're going to be boo-hooing about consequences and feeling like victims, but they really knew what they were doing. They were just mad that they didn't get away with it. Okay? You know, they're mad that they had bad timing. They're mad that they didn't, you know what I'm saying? So they're mad that someone else got out. They're mad that someone, you know what it's like that Lilith is just like with this Venus retrograde and it's square to Uranus. It's like I can see how this can be. Like I said, we're here working with all this consciously, but people out in the world are just let's move on. Well, let me see if there's anything else. Hold on. Let me think about that. I feel like I should say more about I go into this on my Patreon, so I'm kind of like, let's see. Okay. So I'm not gambling like crazy. It's very wholesome. Like I just want like wholesome, good fun. So if I can recommend anything, darts and cards. I saw this movie Rounders recently. Very cool. Love John Malkovich. Really, really, really good movie for like many reasons. But it's like, if you can have fun, you can do things, but just not to excess. So like I'm not I'm playing like games, but I'm playing like $5, $10 a week, you know, but I have like I don't like drink alcohol, you know. I'm back before sundown. Like it's a very wholesome, but it's what I want. You know, I don't want like drama. I don't want anything complicated. I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? So if you, sorry, hold on. This is so like I got the gold color and it's just very like I don't know. It's not really me yet. I don't really feel like it's me. But anyway, so I feel like to start with something like new, like give yourself a new beginning. So don't look out into the like give yourself a new clean slate. Like get yourself a deck of cards. Play Texas Hold'em, you know, do something that's um like Leo's just a lot of fun. Leo is like Odyssey Fun World, you know, or what's that other place? Discovery Zone? Like that's Leo energy, like a big room of games and big bright colors and tickets and the claw and like all of the that's Leo energy. So if I can, you know, that if you want to restart something, just have fun, let everything go. Let everything go. Don't take yourself so seriously. Don't take things so seriously. Um, unfortunately, things are going to be serious. So, I mean, it's going to be hard, but you know, it's the Lilith that's going to have us feeling like we're restricted. It's Lilith is going to have us feeling like there's some like we're stuck or that we're bound by something and we're just struggling and that we have this carnal desire that you know it could also be misogyny. This is kind of scary and kind of freaky, but it can also be misogyny. You know, for me personally, if someone if like there's like a masculine, like a man that's like sexually attracted to me, but it becomes clear that they cannot have me, they cannot be with me, they treat me completely different and they turn into competitive. They turn very competitive with me and they try to sabotage me. They try to demean me, ruin my reputation, talk bad about me to other people, convince other people that I'm some, I don't know, whatever. But it's like, it could be dangerous. That's what I'm saying. Like, so be careful this weekend. If you're having any first dates, I wouldn't, with not with like Venus, Uranus, I don't know. I don't know if I would be on first dates or anything like that. I would be like, you know, just be extra diligent, be extra careful, and at the end of the day, just remember that, you know, we are in the Earth school. Like this is the wild, wild west of dimensions, and that is to be encountered. So don't just because there's like predators and predatory energy out there doesn't mean that you're not also extremely strong and protected. Okay, so it's been like even though like that's out there, don't let it strike fear into you, you know? Like have confidence. You have an entire cosmic team behind you. Okay, when I see it, it's like me here, I'm at the point of a V. So it's like a V, right? Like I'm at the point and then behind me it just fans outward that way of support. You've got your higher self, you've got your spirit guides, you've got your ancestors, you've got like you've got support, okay? You've got a lot backing you up. So, you know, wherever that Lilith, you know, fears can kind of come from, if you're feeling ugly feelings, like you want to coerce, you want to control, you want to manipulate, you've got to alchemize that. You got to do your shadow work and you got to be really honest with yourself about them, about what you're feeling and what you're thinking. That's the best that you can get. Otherwise, you're going to try to get away with it even harder. You're going to push even harder to try to get away with it, to try to cover your tracks, to try to lay the groundwork to convince people of things so that when it does blow up, that you can go back and say, oh, no, no, you know? So, you know, don't try to out manipulate things. Don't even go there. Just wherever you are, like even if you're really far in that process, maybe you're like doing some bad stuff, stop immediately. Stop yourself immediately. Okay? Because that's another Lilith thing. Like you might feel like you've got to commit to something really bad or you've got to commit to something that's like, I don't know. But like Lilith is like, just be careful. Just be careful. But yeah, just remember that whatever you're afraid of, have no fear. Have absolutely no fear at all. Okay? Okay, I think I did a little bit better justice. Let's move on to Monday. So this is going to be Monday. Let's see. Monday the 14th. Okay, so now we're like in super dark, dark, dark moon. The moon is in Leo. We have needs, man. We have needs. I feel like this is a very demanding lunation. All right, this is also when Venus retrograde hits that trine to Chiron again. So a couple days ago on Saturday, you're healing insecurity wounds, and on Monday, you're healing appreciation wounds. I feel like we just need to be appreciated, that we want a little appreciation for how fun we are, how great we are, how beautiful we are, how smart and intelligent and shiny. Leos are so smart, like it blows my mind. Um, a lot of them like history. One of my best friends, he's a Capricorn. He either is a Taurus moon and a Leo rising, or he's a Taurus rising and a Leo moon. I forget. But like you people, like you guys know a lot like about whatever you like art, history, like whatever it is. Like very, very bright. All the fire signs are like extremely bright. So, you know, whatever your intelligence, you know, being appreciated for how much you know about Dutch art in the whatever, okay? Like appreciation, appreciation. But it's also dark moon, so be very, this is more of like an internal focus. It's a very like cocoony energy. So I always get the impulse where I want to act on a dark moon, and I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but I always like feel like I'm ready to like, oh, you know. So try not to be me, because everyone says like, don't do that. It's a dark moon manifesting. I get it. You're right. I concede your point. I'm just telling you how I feel. So give it a couple days. Let the moon gain in light a little bit. I'm also born on like a crescent moon, which is like the most radicalized moon. But anyway, so give yourself some time, give yourself some time to do it and to do the thing, and but feel it. You'll feel the impulse, you'll feel the idea or what you want, or where you want to take something, where you want to go. But the thing about it is that, okay, so for some people the trine to Chiron could be where like something is being touched on that you just don't want to talk about. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about the growth that's growing. Like, and you're like, bruh, you got to see a specialist. You got to get that removed. You got to get that like analyzed. And they're like, I don't want to talk about it. You know, so it could be, it could be like that. So where we're not feeling sparkly, where we're not feeling unique, where we're not feeling pretty or smart or whatever, you know. So it's just, but at the same time, don't take action on that either. You know, you definitely don't want to like do something impulsively on a dark moon that you're just gonna like, you know. So it's definitely cocoony. So just take really good care of yourself on Monday. But I also feel like now for a little bit more of like an inspiring, positive rendition of Monday, I feel like that could just be really, really that you are appreciated, that you are being shown appreciation, that you are, you know, maybe you always had like a critical work environment and they move you to a different part of the warehouse and everyone's really nice to you and you're like surprised and surprised that you're being very appreciated, and that's going to be part of your new moon for you. So see what the feels are having you feel Monday. As we get into Tuesday, this is the Sun Uranus square. That's so demanding. I feel like this is going to be a very demanding kaboom new moon in Leo. So this square, it's very demanding. It's demanding attention, it's demanding respect, it's demanding an elevation, it's demanding change, it's demanding a pivot. So when we work with these energies consciously, we either can be better actors, and or when the change is happening to us, we've subconsciously taken the action, we've subconsciously attracted that experience into our lives in order to go through it, in order to deal with it. And when you're working with it consciously, you respond better and you don't react. So for instance, guys, I have just had like a rage thing because the North Node in Aries is like inching closer and closer to my natal Mars in Aries. So you guys have seen all of the little burns and the scrapes and everything. That's just what you've seen on camera. Behind the scenes, it has just been North Node in Aries inching closer to my Mars in Aries shenanigans nonstop. But what did I look? I manifested some technological kerfuffle subconsciously to get me to do something that I needed to do, but my conscious awareness was never gonna do. Okay, I would have held on to iPhone 11 5 more years. 5 more years. That was the only corporate job that I had was Apple corporate. So, but like, but that's something that we say, like, people don't get Apple products because they stop working. People get Apple products because they just new Apple products because they just want the new thing. I would have held on to this thing for like as long as I could have gotten away with. So I manifested that subconsciously, just like I'm manifesting. So when you get these little like scrapes and cuts and things, as I'm wont to do with my Mars and Aries, you are subconsciously you're not dealing with anger, you're not dealing with your rage, you're not dealing with your frustration, so you're manifesting these little accidents. Now when you manifest like a violent situation, that's a big red flag. Big red flag. Okay. But when we're working with these energies consciously. So that happened, I responded. I still felt some like, it still did not, guys, I was salty yesterday. I was so salty. That's why telekinesis and psychokinesis is so good for me, because I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of strong masculine energy. So it's like, it feels so good when someone puts me in my feminine, though. That feels nice. But it also feels really good when someone puts me more in my masculine. Like both of them feel really, really good to me. So, but you know, where are we? Tuesday. So, you know, the Sun square Uranus, just if you might be the one to go do something unexpected and crazy, and you're working with it consciously and you're being crazy, a little crazy, or you could be subconsciously manifesting something crazy in your life, and you should pay attention to that. You should pay attention to that. Respond, don't react, but own it. Own it a little bit. Like, it looks so random. It looks so like it's happening to you, but if you accept that you subconsciously manifested that thing, you will be able to control it and steer how it goes. And then you can control what's next. I could have just gotten angry, and I had just cleaned so much storage on my phone. I had just cleaned so much. I had like 300 drafts in my TikTok, because I learned that it takes up that the TikTok will store like on your phone. I cleared out 300 to 30 drafts. And I still ran out of, and I have the iCloud storage. Ooh, I was mad. I was just an angsty, hot, oh my God, what does he say in Zoolander? I'm a hot little potato. I was a hot little potato. I was. So I'm like, give me the terabyte. I want a motherfucking terabyte. So now I have a terabyte. I overcompensated. That's the square to Jupiter. I overcompensate. I have the terabyte and I have the iCloud. You mother. So that better last me like 10 years. I'm gonna have that for like 10 years. So what am I saying? Oh yeah. So okay. So you can, but I owned it. You know, I ate it and I fixed it. Guys, the movement was so cool. I would have won the $1 million Randall challenge if I had that recorded. I can't. I have to let it go. I have to let it go. I have to give myself like a time limit to let it go. So whatever you manifest on Tuesday with the Sun Uranus, own it, take responsibility for it so that you can steer it to how you want it to go. So I worked immediately. I'm like, I have to fix this right now. I have to fix this right now. I have to buy the phone right now. I have to take care of this right now. So, and I did, and I took care of it immediately, and it took a few hours, but now we're all set here. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, just take that kind of approach to it. You're still going to feel it. You know, maybe it'll take me another day or two to fully calm down. When I get, you know, like, I feel like when I get a movement recorded that is as impressive and cool as what I missed, I feel that's when I'll like fully let it go emotionally. But maybe I'll meditate longer today. We'll see. Okay. Also on Tuesday, we have the moon in Leo squaring Jupiter in Taurus and conjuncting Venus retrograde in Leo, also trining Chiron in Aries. So, and we're leading into the new moon. Like, yeah, something about Tuesday just looks like the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall on Tuesday. That could be very shocking, and there could even be like masculines and men that are being very shocking too. Like they could be very surprising. But if they are, it's because they're healing their masculinity wounds. If even if women are acting very shocking, it's because they're healing their masculinity wounds, Like that's and getting their power back, and not being afraid of Lilith stuff getting all twisted in their heads, and not getting over, it's not giving their power away. So, whether it's sexually, this is going to be, people are going to be very liberated. People are going to be coming out as all kinds of stuff. People are going to be like, this is my new relationship with my alien girlfriend, That's going to be. Oh, I need a sip for that one. Hold on. Mm. It's going to be a whole thing. So maybe you get your hot boyfriend and two hot girlfriends. Maybe it's like you meet, and it's not even about that. It's about, maybe you meet some, maybe you're a woman and you meet some dude that puts you in your feminine. And you're like, wow, this feels good. And maybe you meet some very attractive little lady, and she puts you in your masculine, and you're like, wow, but you assess how you feel. And that's what's really important to tune into this week, is that maybe you meet someone, boy or girl. How do you feel? If they make you feel like you want to take care of them financially, if you meet someone that you're sexually attracted to, and they make you feel like you want to like house them for free, if they make you feel like you want to just like support their career or whatever they want, so make it their life easier, give to them, do things for them, they're putting you in your masculine, and you want to show up to that relationship as like a masculine dominant person. If you meet someone attractive and you feel like you want them to appreciate you, and you want to receive from them, and you just want them to like be obsessed with you and love you to pieces, and just they're putting you in your feminine, and then let them do for you and solve problems for you, overcome challenges for you, and like do all, like you just sit there and receive, be an empress and just be, great and wonderful. So it's like there could be sexuality stuff with all this stuff too. So there's that. What day are we on Tuesday? Okay, so the moon square Jupiter, we're gonna overreact to the sun square Uranus. Like if people are in their mask, especially if there's an adjustment period. So let's say you meet someone, let's say you're a woman, you had an alcoholic father, and the mom had to take care of everything, and mom was in her masculine, and you meet a guy that you feel sorry for, you fall in love with him, and you're in your masculine, he's in his feminine, and he loves that you're helping him, right? If you want, that's fine. We're not judging anyone's relationship here, okay? We would rather understand than judge. That's fine if it works for you. But with something like this, there might be a difficulty if someone wants to change the dynamic. If that man wants to be in his masculine, or if that woman wants to be in her feminine, the other partner can have an issue with that. There can be problems there, and it's not like it can't happen. That's anything can happen. So it's just coping with the adjustment period, coping with making that adjustment, especially if there's like no communication between these two individuals, and they're not like consciously aware of like what's happening. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you guys are on the same page, everything's fine. So I like this for relationships, working out the kinks, ha ha ha, both kind of kinks. The conjunction with Venus, trining over to Chiron, the appreciation is all important. Guys, I love that I just go out once a week. I have my Saturday ritual. I play a game. It's a couple of dollars. It's no big deal. I have pop. I drink pop and pop and grenadine, and it's this cherry syrup. Ooh, you guys have no idea. It's like delicious. It's delicious. And then I go home and it's fine. It's like but that's what I want. It's wholesome, it's fun, it gets me out of the house, and it's very it's just it's my style. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going being crazy. I'm back before it's dark, you know. It's like very wholesome, and it makes me feel just it's very nice. It's very enjoyable. So, you know, whatever the appreciation is for, you know, just give yourself permission to give that to yourself. Let yourself have fun. Let yourself play cards. Let yourself do the things, whatever it is, whatever your heart's wanting. Let yourself have that appreciation for it, okay? Because it's really important. Like, appreciation is like so important. And that's like this Venus retrograde. And that's every Venus retrograde. And I feel like this one's going so well for me. Let me know how you guys in the comments below are experiencing this so far. We're almost at the halfway little point with the 𝚃𝚎𝚗𝚕𝚒. Because I had a couple fucked up ones. The Venus retrograde in Gemini fucked me up. The Venus retrograde in Capricorn really fucked me up. I'm so happy that I got a good one. It takes a couple years. 2019, that's when I got that phone. That's so funny. It's another Venus. Okay. Anyway, enough about that phone. Okay. All right, let's move on. I missed you guys. I missed being, and oh, that's another thing. I was gonna go live yesterday because that's when the video was to go to the 8th. But she told me don't, and I was like, okay. And I went to go do the TK instead, and then my whole day just taking care of that. Okay, enough about the phone. Wednesday, welcome to Wednesday, the 16th of August. We have welcome to your new moon, welcome to the kaboom. If you did not let everything go, let all the negativity go and all the fears go, you're in for a surprise, because life is changing no matter what in a very big, drastic way for all of us. It's going to be loud. It's going to be a big bang. It's going to be a pop, a kaboom, a kabam, a kablammy, and it's going to it's all really impactfully. So hopefully you made hopefully you made space in your consciousness. Hope that's all you need to do is make space in your consciousness and cleanse your heart of ugly feelings, including fears and doubts and manipulation and resentments and bitterness. Okay, people are going to be bitter as fuck this week. People are going to be so bitter. Think about everyone that like hates people being happy and successful. Like, okay, it's like bitter crabs in a barrel, don't want you to do anything, don't want you to shine bright like a diamond, don't want you to do whatever, you know? So this new moon is a kaboom. This new moon is in Leo. It squares Uranus in Taurus, and it's trining the North Node in Aries. Am I just gonna like get a big boo-boo on my head or what? Let's see. That's another thing. Like, I have this scar right here on my forehead. I call it my little Harry Potter scar right here. Mars and Aries, head injuries, so be very careful. I guess that's just for me. But no, but seriously, like, still be careful, because North Node energy is just like uncontained. So okay, the thing about Wednesday, the energy is surging for so many reasons. Remember how I say astrology, I like to have a lot of things pointing and saying the same thing. If all the one thing is being said in a million different ways, the universe is speaking. So energy is surging. It's a new moon, new beginning, squaring Uranus, trines its own North Node, and Mars trines Uranus from Virgo. Grand Earth this is going to be a thing. Here's the difficult part. Okay, so the energy is surging, even though it's a dark moon, even though it's a new moon. Remember, it's going to be the impulse. The impulse is going to be surging. The impulse is going to be like we're all going to have big reactions to something, and it's just going to be try to ground it if you can. Try to ground it. Try to ground yourself. Go walk with barefoot if you cannot walk barefoot in a beautiful forest, a walking stick. Take a walking stick and put the walk with your walking stick, and that will ground into the ground, and the energy will go up through the stick, and it'll get to your hands, and you know what I'm saying? So do that. If you cannot go be, you know, kumbaya, barefoot, hippie, walking through earth, okay? So do that. Try to ground it if you can. The new moon square Uranus is like, push. Oh, full circle how we started this. It's like giving a little push, you know, a jokery kind of a push. So there's that. It's gonna be it's very ready or not. So whatever you're doing, you're gonna do something different. Whatever is going on, it's gonna be going on different. And we're all gonna be pushed into something. We're not gonna feel like we're ready for it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Tell you that right now. I certainly wasn't ready to. I did not wake up yesterday thinking I'm gonna get a new iPhone today. No. I had to be raged into it. I had to be bullied into it. I'm kidding. I'm not a victim. I'm just kidding. It's just that's the perfect example. We're going to be raged into something. We're going to be lusted into something. We're going to be feeling so lusty. We're going to be feeling so angry. We're going to be feeling so something. It's going to be very extreme. It's going to come out of nowhere. We're not going to see it coming. No one's going to see it coming. It's just going to be, that's just what it's going to be. And it could be Wednesday, it could be Thursday, it could be Friday. It could be anytime over the next 30 days from the 16th of August. So that takes us into like the middle of September. We're going to have Mercury retrograde. We're going to talk about that next time I come back. Yes, we will talk about that next time I come back. And that's what I'm saying. Like the best that you can do is clear the debris and ground yourself. And that's it. And then wait. That's all you can do. It's like prepping. Like you just prepare. You just prepare and you sit there and wait for the aliens or the zombies or the robots. Whatever it happens to be. Man, did you see that the WJ talked with, and I just had such a moment. Carol Lombardini, how are you? You're not watching this. I know that for a fact. She's the only lawyer. She's the head lawyer for the AMPTP. I met her, talked with her, worked with her, negotiated with her. She's like the most human of these, like, I'm sorry, I'm not saying like lawyers are not human, but she's very humanized. And this is the thing, you guys, it's not personal, it's business. They all vacation in the same places, like Carol Lombardini, all these people, like it's like the heads of the studios playing tennis with each other, competing and making bets on whose movie is gonna win opening weekend back in the golden age of Hollywood, in like Gigi Cassini, Oleg Cassini days, okay, JFK days. They all played tennis together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, advocate for your self-worth because like they know better. Like they know. Guys, if we had like a full disclosure of like the information of like not even just streaming, but like everything, and we really knew things, we would be up in arms livid. And that's what they don't want. We fought about this. We've been fighting about this, like Nielsen ratings and like just like the information, the data. Oh my God, they know better. They know better. But like, why would they just give it to us? Why would they be fair unless you advocate for it? That's the thing. This is what's going on. That's why you got to like let go of your fear, because that fear is having you hold on to something that is so far below what you're worth. Okay? Becky, teach me how to do all this. All right? So I don't have to stress about if you go on vacation for 2 weeks to Ireland. Just teach me how to do it now, and the fear's gone. And then, you know, oh, this is great. I don't know what I was afraid of. Okay, I had some fears about getting a new phone. I had some major fears about logging in and about passwords. I really did. So I did have to confront fears. I was afraid I would be like locked out of my TikTok or something. And it's so stupid, I know, but like it was a whole thing, but I'm not, and I won't, and everything's great and fine. Everything's great and fine. Look how pretty this is. It's so freaking like, look at that beautiful like screen. It's just great. I'm kind of getting used to it, but like I said, I'll need to record that. I'll need to record some great movements to feel totally like replenished. So try to ground yourself, clear the debris, and that's the best that you can do. That is the best you can do. And have faith, have confidence, have self-confidence, have faith in your skills, talents, and abilities, and your sexuality, and your sexual preferences, or, you know, if you want to, it might not be the time to dye your hair blue, but you can do it later. After Venus gets out, maybe like September, October. I actually dyed my hair blue on when Uranus, I had a Venus-Uranus thing going on when I dyed my hair blue. That was in August. I think that was August like 2 years ago or something. I'm a Venus Uranus person, but it took me a while to get it to like how it is now. Like when I first did it, it was like it wasn't really the color I wanted. I didn't know how to take care of it, and now I'm just like So, all right, I love you guys. Take very, very, very good care. I am going to be back to take us through the new moon. I will probably cover this a little bit more again, and like we'll do a little welfare check to see how everyone's doing on this new moon energy, and then we will kind of go from there. So, oh, but I will be back before then to do, maybe we'll do pick a card and a collective reading. We'll see. We'll see what the vibes are saying. I love you guys. Take very, very good care. Until next time, my lovelies. Check out the Patreon, bookmark it if you want to learn how to do all the magical stuff. Many beautiful